Hey everyone, David C. Anderson from the KnifeCenter coming at you from SHOT Show 2020 here at the Reate booth with David and Derek. David, thank you so much for having us here.
Thank you.
Derek's going to take us through some of the brand new models, including some stuff that is literally right off the truck this morning and doesn't even have a name yet. It's going to be some cool stuff, so let's check it out.
So to start with, we've got a new front flipper for 2020, hidden lock bar, micarta and carbon fiber. Same knife other than the scale color. It's a front flipper or a thumb flipper. So it's got a nice crystal action on it. You want to check it out?
Yeah. And I was flipping this a little bit earlier, and I know some people out there really love them. I'm never really super successful with every thumb flipper out there, but this one, super crisp, like really good action. And I like how you have these scales covering the frame lock essentially, so your finger's not hitting the lock bar at the same time.
You don't grind the lock bar on it.
Yeah. Nice little EDC carry, kind of a small Quaken style, right. I would say. Yeah, I really like that. Yeah. What's the steel on this?
M390.
Okay.
M390 titanium on the frame.
And will there be more scale colors in the future, or is this just a start?
This is just a start. There's always going to be some variations. Reate likes to do variations on all the knives, so you get color combinations, blade steel, Dama steel versus M390 or something else.
Sure.
Hardware color.
Very nice.
Next up, like we mentioned this morning off the truck, we've got a new knife in. It is not named. There's many variations here that you guys can check out. We've got Dama steel and M390. This one here is a green fat carbon with mokutai inlays on the bolster and Dama steel blade, and it is also front flipper. And these are, again, the action on them are super sweet, super smooth, all ceramic ball bearings and all of Reate's knives.
And the anodized frame on there really pops too.
Yeah, it makes the colors pop.
Ties in with the mokutai, looks really good.
And on these, we've got some different ones. Some, more traditional for some knife carriers with the stag. Same knife, essentially everything is the same. The lock bar is hidden on this, even behind the bolster. So, it's not going to snag. You're not going to grind the lock bar when opening and closing.
That's really nice. I like the traditional there. And I like this is bone, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Also looks very cool. It's really cool to see. It's a very kind of clean design, so you're able to dress it up kind of futuristic and vintage at the same time. And it looks good in both cases.
Again, this is one of the things that Reate specializes in, is giving multiple options for people. It covers a wide array.
Sure.
For the customer.
M390 again?
Yes.
And Dama steel?
Yep.
On that guy. Very nice.
People like the dress knives and they like the user knife as well. So we try to give them options on every corner we can.
For sure.
So that's it for these right here. We'll move on to another new knife. This one here is the Gents number 9. It is a kind of a futuristic style knife in the way it's made. There's no hardware on this knife. There's a proprietary cam lock system on it. So the end user will have a tool that comes with the kit to be able to take the knife apart.
And that works just off of this spot here.
Yes.
On the spine.
Yep.
So all of these are just posts, decorative.
Yes, sir.
And they look really cool. What I like about that too is you don't have any screws here. It's a really clean profile overall. And a good bevel there, or a good round over.
Yeah.
So it's a very comfortable knife.
Right. Great in pocket. It's not going to snag or be lumpy feeling or hard edges, anything like that. Again, on this we have 9 variations here at the show. This is new for 2020, and it'll be production is set to be in dealers' hands and available at Blade Atlanta this year for 2020.
M390?
M390.
I like the crown spine kind of carries through that nice round over on the handle, just thematically and for the comfort factor as well.
You have a little jimping on the top of the blade there.
Not too aggressive. That's going to be a great classy everyday carry, I think.
We've got this one here, which is new for this year. Sorry to go back. These here are scheduled to be out, just for clarification, later in 2020, towards the end of the year. So these, however, will be out for around the June market for Blade and in the dealer's hands by then.
And what was the name of this one again?
This one is the Bushido.
Bushido front flipper.
Yep.
And this one doesn't have a name.
No
yet,
name,
so.
no name.
Mystery.
Yeah, mystery. So these here will be out, and there's another one that'll be out also. This one here, scheduled for the later part of the year as well. This is the Coyote. It's a collaboration. It's got nice carbon fiber inlay on both sides. They mimic each other. The carbon inlay, you can see, goes around the pivot. It's one piece, super smooth knife. Nice little carry, and it's a slight recurve on there. It's not too aggressive.
Mm-hmm. What's the designer you worked with on this?
Emmanuel LeBlanc from Europe.
So Emmanuel LeBlanc from Europe designed this knife. It's got a nice snaky feel. That recurve adds some sex appeal for sure. Nice hidden lanyard attachment point there at the back. Stylish piece.
It's going to be a good seller, I think.
It's a good size too. It's not too small, but it's not too big. Nice and solid.
Right. It's got a little bit of jumping on the top there. You know, it's just a real comfortable knife in hand. On a smaller scale.
M390 again.
Yes, M390 again. There'll be other variations possibly with Damastil to roll out. You know, after the launch of it.
Great.
This is another new knife. We introduced this at Blade West in 2019, and it was just a prototype. Mm-hmm. So it was unnamed at the time. Now it has a name, and it's called Iron. So similar to Iron Man.
Gotcha. Yep.
So it's two styles. You have a traditional finger flipper, and then you have a thumb stud version for people who like to finger flip or thumb stud. So there's micarta inlays, there's green and tan, there's carbon fiber inlays. So it's a simple, smooth design. There's hardware color options, and then there's mokutai inlays. And then on the thumb stud versions, it's the mokutai inlays, the thumb stud, the back spacer, and the clip. So you have many options to choose from. All of them are super smooth.
It's a pretty good size overall. You got a little bit of a index finger choil there. My finger's a little bit too big for it, but the thumb stud version kind of solves that for me. There's more of a flat spot there where I can choke up right behind the edge. But if you have smaller fingers, there'd be no problem there, certainly.
On this, when we brought this to Portland for Blade West, a lot of the bigger guys with big hands out there, they would pick up the knife and they would play with it, and they were all amazed at the way that it felt in hand. Some of the guys didn't even want to look at it, and I kind of just pushed them to it.
Pushed it into their hands.
Yeah, and once they got it in hand, you know, they were feeling the feel of it was really nice.
Yeah, even though it's just barely a 4-finger grip from my hands, which are a little bit on the larger side, not huge, but even though it's only just barely a 4-finger, it's definitely full.
Right.
Yeah, it feels nice.
Right. So that's scheduled to be in dealer hands and available same time frame for June, and available at Blade Atlanta.
Very nice.
Here we've got the Tashi series, the next one that we hadn't seen for a while. We've got the 3000. We've got the brown micarta, carbon fiber, and then the other
green micarta.
Green micarta.
Is that a barbed wire micarta, or is that burlap?
Burlap?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're virtually the same.
Yeah.
Looks really nice.
So a lot of people were waiting on this, been asking about the time frame when it was going to come. We really didn't know, but it's here. So now you have all 4 of the knives in the series out.
I like the bevel here on the spine. Adds a little bit of faceting. Again, hidden lanyard point. M390, I'm assuming.
M390, yep.
Can't go wrong with M390, that's for sure. Subtle flipper tab. It stays kind of flat when it's open, which is pretty cool. It's a nice little touch.
The Jack 2.0 hit just recently into the dealer's hands. It was long awaited. A lot of controversy with people on the pivot system with the way the knife looks. Some people love it, some people aren't so sure about it. But everybody that we've run into at shows, once they put it in hand and start playing with it, they all love it.
So what's different about the pivot system? Are these screws running around the central point? Do those do anything functionally wise, or are they just aesthetic?
Well, yeah, it's aesthetics, and it stabilizes the whole thing. So the bearings in there are nice and solid. It's designed around the backbone, the spline for the blade to hold the blade on, and then it's an integral. So you got a lot of stuff going on with this. Hidden lock bar behind the scale. It's like a dressed knife on both sides. You know, you don't have just one side where it's dressed up and one side where it's not. So on these we have 4 essential finishes on the handle. You have a wire wheel finish,
which I like. It's kind of almost like a subtle orange peel texture,
right?
Without being too fat and too aggressive. It's really nice, a little bit different than your bead blast.
Right,
yeah.
Right. We have bead blast, we have black PVD coating, and then we have the bead blast with the flame. So you got 4 body colors and then 2 scale colors, which gives you 8 variations of the knife overall. Again, going back to having the variations and fulfilling customers' likes.
Sure.
So coming from the factory, you're going to get a knife and a comb, and the knife blade is held in by 3 screws on the backbone. So you get both of those as a package. Once you swap it out, you end up with the comb attachment, and
which is probably just about the most fidget-friendly comb out there.
Right, yeah.
You can take that with you. You're not going to have to worry if you like fidgeting all day at the office, but maybe your office doesn't like knives. Keep a small knife in your pocket and play with this one. You know?
Right.
Now, do you guys have any plans, since these are replaceable, do you guys have any plans in the future to offer some different blades for it, some different shapes or some different steels?
We have, so the hand rub blade that comes on it from the factory, we're going to be releasing a Damasteel blade for it as a replacement and to purchase through the dealers.
Very cool.
That's going to hit around or before Blade. So at Blade, anybody there can probably pick one up, or through you guys. So you guys should be able to have them at the same time. We've talked about other blade styles, currently not in production, and it's partly to do for the design of the knife, the way that this is built. So it was built around this blade, but we've talked about doing possibly a Tanto version, which would accommodate into this, into the integral handle shape and how it was built.
And without messing with kind of that drop to the spine there either.
Right. So it's a little bit of a, we're just going to put something in there and see how it works out. And then if it
does, maybe it gets released.
Yeah. And then, there'll probably, if the Tanto version comes into play, it'll probably come into a couple of blade finishes. So there'll be a little bit of an option there.
Very nice.
Right. And then just so we can show you guys, these aren't in production. These are, in fact, the Damasteel blades. We did these knives with fat carbon and Damasteel blades just for the show, and just to kind of show what we do, But this would be how the Damasteel blade looks for the end user.
Very nice.
And these, the 4 that we have, we did fat carbon in blue, green, red, and purple.
So that's all the new stuff from Reate we've got to show you from SHOT Shows so far. Guys, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Thanks for taking the time. Thanks for taking the time to show us the new stuff. If you want to get your hands on any of this, we're going to leave links to them below that are going to take you over to KnifeCenter.com, and keep sticking around for more great SHOT Show 2020 videos. Thanks, guys.